Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare
Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare
Kunja Vihare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravatacharya also tell us that she Shiva is divine grace Sabaya Chananada Bhaktavad Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Saya Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Mathuranam Ki Jai, Jagannath Swami Ki Jai, Munamai Ki Jai, Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhakta Vindi Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda. All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Vasudaya Bhule, Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namadi Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gaur Bhakti Pacharni, Nivashesha, Shunyavadi Pasyacha Desha. So, we are reading today from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 20th chapter, text 39. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Shanai, Shanayar, Jahu, Hong Kong, Stalani, Amang, Cha, Viruddha, Yata, Mamatam, Dira, Shariradishu, Anatmasu, Shanai Shaner Jahu Pankam, Jahu Pankam, Stalan Yamam Javuruda, Yatam Mamatam Dira, Shariradish Vasu, Shanai Shanai Jahu Pankam, Stalan Yamam Javuruda, Yataham Mamatam Dira, Shariradish Vanatmasu, Shanai Shanai Jahu Pankam, Stalan Yamam Javiruda, Yataham Mamatam Dira, Shariradish Vanatmasu. Okay.
Sane Sane Jahu Pankam. Stalan Yamam Cha Viruddha. Yatharha Mamam Tam Dhira. Shariradisu Anatmasu.
Sane Sane Jahu Pankha. Niyamam Cha Viruddha. Yataham Mamatam Dhira. Shariradisu Anatmasu.
Sane sane jahu pankam. Sane sane jahu pankam. Saranyam cha viruddha. Saranyam cha viruddha. Yataham mamatam dhira. Yataham mamatam dhira. Sarirādhisva atmasu. Sarirādhisva atmasu.
Sane sane jahu pankam.
Sane sane jahu pankam.
Malani atmajam viruddha.
Saranyam cha viruddha.
Yataham mamatam dhira.
Yataham mamatam dhira.
Sarirādhisva atmasu.
Sarirādhisva atmasu. Sane sane jahu pankam. Sarani amam cha viruddha. Yataham mamatam dhira.
Shanay shanay jahu pankam.
Sane sane jahu pankam.
Stalanyamam cha viruddha.
Saranyamam cha viruddha.
Yataham mamatam dhira.
Yataham mamatam dhira.
Shariradishu anatmashu. Sanay sanay jahu dipankam. Sthananyamam cha viruddha. Yataham mamatam dhira. Shariradishu anatmashu.
Okay. Shanai, Shanai.
Sane sane.
Very gradually. Jahu. Gave up. Pankam. They're mud. Salani. The places of land. Amam. Their unripe condition. Cha. And. Viruddha. The plants. Yata. As. Aham mamatam. Egotism and possessiveness.
Egotism and possessiveness.
Niraha. Sober sages.
Sober sages.
Sharira adishu.
Sharirādhishu.
Focused upon the material body
Focused on the material body
and other external objects.
and other external objects.
Anatmasu.
Atmasu,
Which are completely distinct
which are completely distinct
from the real self.
from the real self.
The translation: gradually the different areas of land gave up their muddy condition, and the plants grew past their unripe stage. In the same way that sober sages give up egotism and possessiveness. These are based on things different from the real self, namely the material body and its byproducts. So, purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The word adishu in this verse indicates the byproducts of the body, such as children, home, and wealth. So it's really easy to understand. So again, Shanai Shanai Jahu Pankam Stalanyamam Javiruddha Yataham Mamatam Dhira Sharira Dishvanatmasu Somagadatamananda Shagananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Onmanitam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. So obviously this can be understood, this verse can be understood on two different levels. One is the time of the year where everything, the rain, everything dries up and the mud becomes dry and everything like that. That's one way to understand it. But practically, the acharyas and comment on this particular verse as indicating someone making spiritual advancement. So the mud in this particular case, what's that? The mud in this particular case is the dirt in the heart, just like we often hear about the dirt in the heart. And we chant the first verse of the Shikshashaka, isn't it? Isn't it? Cheto Dharpana Marjanam Pava Mahadbhagi Dharapana Shreya Kairagya Chandrakara Vicharanam Vijavaduni Jivanam Ananda Buddhivardhanam Padipadam Paramata Swadanam Sarvat Nastapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That the Cheto Dharpana, the heart needs to be cleansed. Right now, Srila Prabhupada said, insofar as our own condition, our hearts right now are like pieces of coal. Piece of coal means if you try to cleanse it, you'll just get dirty. So the holy name is so powerful that the holy name can cleanse the heart. Now what is the heart dirtied with? Of course, the heart is originally dirtied with what's mentioned here in this verse, is aham mamatam. These are the two divisions of false ego, which basically means I and mine. Two different things. In other words, I means identification, as mentioned here in the purport and also in the verse, that we identify with this body. This body identification is called an upadi. Upadi means a false identification. In other words, you're thinking you're Fijians, or you're thinking you're from Kerala, or you're thinking so many things in Denmark, and you're thinking someone else is your wife, and someone is your child, right? Pumsa striya bitunivarmaito taivarmato ridigratyaho atogra etc. sutata vatara janasya mohomyam ahamameti. That verse describes everything. That we actually not only identify with the body as ourselves, but everything connected to the body. And therefore, hridaya grante, or the knot in the heart, becomes very tight. And then not only that, so that's the I, and also there's the concept of Dhammaniyat concept, Ishwaroham Aham Bhavati, Siroham Balavan Sukhi, that I am perfect, I am powerful, I know, I am right, I am happy. So we may think, oh, Krishna is only referring to the demons, but that's our consciousness too. Each and every one of us is trying to be the controller. Ishwara, aham. Even if we can only control our family, or control a temple, or control, what else are we trying to control? We can't even control our body. It's all an illusion. We think we're Ishwara, but you can't even control what's going on inside your body. If you get sick, can you tell the bugs to go away? No. You can't say, my dear virus, my dear COVID, get out of here, I'm in charge. You can't do that. You can't even control your body. So how are you Ishvara? And then how are you the bogey? Bogey means enjoyer. You're not the bogey. Although you're trying to be a bogey. Sometimes we used to call other devotees bogeys because they try to enjoy their senses. Like Prabhupada would say, someone can be a yogi, a bogey, or a rogi. You understand? Prabhupada actually made some funny statement one time. He says a yogi only goes to the washroom one time a day, a bogey twice a day, and a rogi more. 3 or more. So we can see who was actually trying to be a bogey. But actually you're not the bogey. You're not a bogey because the pleasure you're trying to experience from this body or from this mind appears to be like nectar in the beginning, according to Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita, but then it's like poison at the end. You know, every time you try to enjoy, it just gets you life more and more complicated, more and more misery, and so it's a useless endeavor. So Ishwaraham Aham Bhogi Siddhoham, and you think you're powerful, Balavan, you're strong, you have big muscles, of course, probably a big belly to go along with the muscles. Balavan, Sukhi, and you think you're happy. So this is the I. And then as far as the mind, then you have all these things that you think belong to you, your home, your paraphernalia, all these things you think. But then you cannot take these things with you at the time of death. If they belong to you, then why do you have to give them up? So this is the false bodily concept, I and mine, the divisions of what we call false ego. So that's one type of impurity. Another type of impurity is the samskaras you have. You understand? Because based upon the mind, attachment to the mind, attachment to the body, attachment to everything connected to the body and mind, then you have all these different experiences that you've had throughout many, many lifetimes in this world. These are called samskaras. Actually, for those of you who don't know the meaning of that word, generally you think the word samskara means a ceremony, like antyeshti samskara, right? Or namakarana, which is a samskara, but actually means a perfect action which creates an impression. It has, the word samskara is composed of two different words, sam and kara. Kara actually is from karma, which means action, and sam means perfect or complete. So a samskara is a complete action or an action that you do that creates an impression on the subtle body. Because as we know, not only do you have this gross body that you are very attached to and all the things connected to the gross body, but you have this linga sharira. Linga sharira means subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego. The gross body is Panchamahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And subtle body is mind, intelligence, and ego. So this subtle body gets so many impressions, which we call samskaras, from one lifetime to another. So not only are you thinking of I and mine, but you're actually contaminated by all these impressions, all these experiences you may have had. For example, sometimes someone is born with a particular type of what we call phobia. Phobia means fear. Let's say if I was born, or I wasn't, anyway, if someone was born with claustrophobia, anyone's heard of that word before? Claustrophobia means you're afraid of closed-in spaces. For example, if you go into a lift, you start to shake. Lift, elevator, everybody knows what that is? You have them here or no? Yes. So you start to shake. Why is that? Maybe in your last life you were buried alive. Maybe. Maybe in your last life they put you in the coffin while you were still alive. So in this life, and then other impressions you may have is you may, aquaphobia. You may be afraid of water. Just like we see, many people here in Fiji are afraid of water, right? In the Indian community. Why are they afraid of water? Because their mother has conditioned them. Their mother has told them, don't go near the water, you'll die. So they hear this again and again and again. You know, the ocean. Don't go near the ocean or you die. So all of a sudden, and the mother never teaches them to swim. So actually, they probably do die when there's a flood because the mother never taught them to swim and because the mother was afraid they were going to die in the ocean. So anyway, so the point is they have this fear because that impression is there in the mind. For example, when I was young, my mother got very upset as I was playing with matches. And one time she burned me a little bit just to teach me, don't play with matches. And now I'm afraid of fire. Oh, very careful. Whenever I see that there's a possibility of fire, I always make sure that there's a fire extinguisher there. So these are all impressions in the mind. So these impressions are there for many, many births. Millions, billions of births. I mean, you have this, you may remember, or you don't remember, you may have the impressions of your life as a worm, as a cockroach, as what else? As an amoeba, or anyway, a virus. So you may have all these impressions, and so they're really shaping your consciousness and making you miserable, and so so much dirt in the heart needs to be cleansed. So what's the method of giving up this identification, these upadhis, and the things connected to the upadhis? It's very easy, because here it mentions, that the sages, after some time, they actually give it up. So this is important too, because it relates to the varnashram system. The varnashram system is a system of gradually becoming more renounced. For example, when one is young, one is a brahmachari, right? Hopefully they're still brahmachari at 5 years of age. It's Kali Yuga, you never know. So when one is young, one's a brahmachari. Then later on, when the senses get very strong, then one gets married and has children. But also, getting married and having children is not simply for one's sense gratification, but to engage them in Krishna's service. Now we're talking about something called Daiva Varnashram. There's a Sura Varnashram. A Sura Varnashram is where one becomes a Grihamedi. That means someone who is simply pulled around by his nose, like a bull being pulled around by his nose, by his senses, and wife and husband are just being pulled by their senses. But Grahastha means they're dedicated to serving Krishna. So a Grahastha, his renunciation is based upon Manasadeya Geya Yokishmor Abilam Tuyapari Nandakishore, understanding that everything, his wife belongs to Krishna, not him. Generally in the material world, someone gets married and thinks, oh, goody, goody, now I got a nice wife to enjoy, right? Or the wife is thinking, oh, very nice. Now I get this handsome guy with a mustache to enjoy. Yuck. So this is illusion, that we think we can enjoy someone. And actually that's not love either. That's lust. The difference between love and lust is that we see someone as an object for our enjoyment. That's lust. In love, we see someone as a spirit soul, and we're dedicated to trying to help them connect with Krishna. That's love. So you can have love in the Grahastha ashram, but each one is concerned with the other, not using them. Like I use my computer. So in the same way, many people, they're married, they use their wives use their husbands. You see someone who has a lot of money and think, oh, very nice, I should marry him. Right? Very nice. Because he's simply imitating Bhagavan. we're very attracted, isn't it, to the opulences in this world, like wealth, strength, renunciation, isn't it? Knowledge, fame, etc. Beauty. But if we actually see Krishna's wealth, strength, beauty, renunciation, etc., then everybody else, especially people walking around with material bodies, they're not so attractive. Of course, devotees are attractive. Just like that story of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Once upon a time, Sripad Ramanujacharya and his disciples were watching one man, and this man was fanning his girlfriend and walking backwards and holding an umbrella over her head. And the brahmachari started to laugh. But Sripad Ramanujacharya said, no, don't laugh. Bring him here. Find out why he is doing this. And the man said, his name was Dhanurdas. The man said, the reason I'm doing this is because she has beautiful eyes. And then Ramanujacharya showed that man the deity who had more beautiful eyes, and the man fell in love with Krishna. So that's the point. So, anyway, a grahastha, getting back to the varnashram system, a grahastha engaged, that's his renunciation. It's called yukta vairagya. A brahmachari is simply trained up so he can become a good grahastha. A brahmachari gurukule vasandanta gorohitam archyan dasavan nityo. A brahmachari is trained up. He works in the ashram. His guru, or his home, is his guru. Is an ashram of the guru. He makes his home an ashram of the guru. Vasandanta. And he becomes tamed. That's the business of a brahmachari. Why is he tamed? Or how is he tamed? Gurorhitam. He's always working for the benefit of the spiritual master. So later on, that particular brahmachari, good behavior, everything like that, then he becomes a good rahasta. Because he's thinking, oh, my grahastha life is meant for the benefit of my spiritual master, the benefit of Krishna, ultimately. And so then after in varnashram, after the grahastha status, then you have vanaprastha, where the wife and the husband serve Krishna together. And the children, of course, have grown up at this particular point. And sometimes there is sannyas. But really, in Kali Yuga, sannyas is not really recommended. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the preferable stage of renunciation in this Kali Yuga is called Kshetra Sannyas. Means where the couple continues, and in this way, Jatra, wherever, Vrindavan or Mombasa, and that usually happens when the couple is around 50 years old. 50 years old is not a time to start a family, but a time to wind down, which is mentioned here. The mud should be drying. Not that you throw more water on the mud. Oh, this mud is drying. We need to have it more liquidy, right? So anyway, Kshetra Sannyas, and that's preferable. The husband and wife serve together, and just like in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, there were many Kshetra Sannyasis, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He and his wife were actually Kshetra Sannyasis, and they were serving in Jagannath Puri. And this way they went back to home, back to Godhead. So that's renunciation. So to give up the attachment, just to summarize, to give up all these attachments to the body, clarify the impressions in the mind, attachments to things connected to the body, I and mine, then one simply has to see everything belongs to Krishna. Ishavasham idam sarvam yadkancha jagajam jagat dena jagdena bunjidha malkridha krishnasvidana. That everything is owned and controlled by Krishna. Everything is meant to be used for him. If I try to enjoy anything separately, I'm a thief. It's like if you're working for someone and he lets you use the car for your service to him, and then you take your car out, and his car, and you try to enjoy with it, you race it in the streets. That is sinful and illegal. So Krishna has given us something, this body, this mind, again, Manasadeha Geya, your Krishna, that it should be used for the purpose of the owner, Krishna. And then you become happy. That's the only way to become happy. To understand that Krishna owns everything, use everything in the Krishna service. Because then, Kevalananda Kanda, Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai. Then you'll experience real happiness. And then experiencing real happiness and chanting the Lord's holy names, all these impurities in the heart will become dissipated. And when they're dissipated, that means destroyed. When they're destroyed, you will see your real self. Like Bhagavad Gita describes, like when the sun comes up in the morning, you can actually see things. When it's dark, you can't see things. So, what is the real self? The real self is a servant of Krishna in one of 5 different rasas. That real self is there right now. It's not something that you get. It's something you have, but you've forgotten. And that's proven by Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami in this very wonderful verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is that? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Saja Koranai. He says, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. That Krishna Prem is part of your soul. You have Krishna Prem. In other words, it's amazing, isn't it? All of you have Krishna Prem, but you've forgotten it. It's like someone with amnesia. Someone with amnesia forgets who he is, who his parents are, who his family, who are his family members, where his money is, what his bank account. Just like sometimes you may go into a bank, what's my account number? And it's just like you have no money, even though you may have millions of dollars in the bank. But if you forget your account number, of course you can ask them, but anyway. If you forget who you are, you don't have to bring your driver's license, and you forget your account number, then it's like you have nothing. Right? Or like in India sometimes, you find people who own very expensive flats in Mumbai, and they're living on the street. Why are they living on the street? Because they're collecting rent from the flats, and they want to make money from them. But they're living like a poor man, even though they have this very expensive flat. So we are living like this. So anyway, so we have Krishna Prem. You have Krishna Prem right now. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Saja Koronai. It's not something that you get. It's something you have. And how do you get it? Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte Kore Udoy. Very simple. Shravanadi. Simply hearing the holy names, again, chanting japa nicely, without offense, attentively. Shravanadi, and hearing Bhagavatam, and hearing the philosophy, and associating with devotee Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte. Then your Shuddha Chitte, or Cheto Dharma Marjana, which is basically the same thing, the cleansing of the heart will be there. Like the cleansing of a mirror. Sometimes the heart is compared to a mirror. And then when the mirror is cleansed, you can see yourself. Shuddha-chitte, kore doi. And in this way, you'll realize you're Krishna conscious. Or as Prabhupada said, very interesting, one time he was asked, how did we come to this material world? How did we leave the spiritual world? Prabhupada said, we never left the spiritual world. It's all in your mind, it's your attachment. You give up the attachment, you realize who you are, you'll have Krishna Prema, you'll be in Krishna Prema, you'll be in ecstasy, you'll realize you're a cowherd boy or a gopi or a parent of Krishna or a servant of Krishna. It's all there just waiting for you right now. So, on that happy note, any questions or comments? Keep it short. Rasbihari was a question.
Very, very nicely you elaborated it. How the heart is being contaminated by two major things.
Yeah.
Aham, mama, abhimani.
Yeah.
One is ahamta, the mama.
Yeah.
You very elaborated I first.
I
and
am
then I related to I. Mamta becomes.
Yeah, Mamta.
How to get rid is Saravanadi Suddhachi.
Shuddha-chitte kore.
Devotees don't hear Katha like this out season. So beautifully about the clouds. Other clouds is like taking the taxes and giving back.
Yeah.
But if devotees don't hear all this Katha, how they can go back to God?
No, without Shravanadi, they'll never get Shuddha-chitte. You'll never get a purified heart. You can't. Shravanadi is the most important. Of course, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smartam. We have 9 processes of devotional service. Sometimes people think that you can just do one, and that's just, which is actually true. But you can't do any of them without Shravana. Because let's say Archana. Okay, let's take Archana for example. Without hearing, how can you do Archana? Then your Archana will be like offering oblations to ashes, according to Lord Kapila Deva. Without hearing, how can you do Vandana prayers?
Can I put this in Hindi? So that
Yeah.
Guru Maharaj कह रहे हैं जब तक तुम कथा सुना नहीं, श्रवण नहीं किया, तुम डिटी वर्शिप कर रहे हो, तो वो आप राग को सेवा कर रहे हो, क्योंकि तुम सही रूप से कर नहीं रहे हो, क्योंकि तुमने श्रवण नहीं किया। जब तक गुरु महाराज कह रहे सर्वन आदि शुद्ध चित्त, जब तक आप कथा श्रवण नहीं करेगा, आपके कोई भी सेवा अधूरा रही, अटूट टूट पड़ेगी।
Oops. Whenever you touch your ears like that, I think you're apologizing for something.
गुरु महाराज कहते हैं लोग जब आते ठाकुर के पास कभी कान छोड़ते हैं मतलब क्षमा मांगे। वास्तविक समय की लोग कथा जो नहीं सुनी तो उसके क्षमा मांगे, क्योंकि ये कान मिला है भगवान की कथा सुनी, वरना ये सांप का बिल हो जाए। गुरु महाराज कह रहे थे वो जो प्रेम है वास्तविक हमारा स्वभाव है, लेकिन वो प्रेम प्रकट नहीं हो रहा क्योंकि हम कथा ही नहीं सुन रहे।
All right. So anyway, everything is based on hearing. Without hearing, there's no purification of the heart. It's just.
बिना सुने हमारा हृदय कभी शुद्ध होगा ही नहीं, और जितना भक्ति के नौ और कार्रवाई है वो अधूरा रहेगा, वो पूरा नहीं हुआ। जैसे गुरु महाराज ने कहा, कपिल महाराज कह रहे तुम डिटी वर्शिप कर रहे हो, वो तो तुम राग की सेवा कर रहे हो, वो राग बन गया, वो भगवान है ही नहीं वहां पर, क्योंकि तुम सही रकम से जानती हो कैसे सेवा किया जाए, क्योंकि तुमने कथा नहीं श्रवण की।
And hearing has to be from the proper persons too.
और कथा एक बोनाफाइड जो रहते हैं हमारी पारंपरिक रहते हैं, उनके द्वारा सुना जाए, इधर उधर नहीं भटका जाए।
If you hear about Krishna from improper person, Vaishnava Mukodhirnam Purtam Harikatam Ratam Shravananaiva Kartavyam Sarpochistiyatapayam. It can actually even damage your spiritual life.
और जो बताया गया पारंपरिक में नहीं है, तुम जाकर वहाँ सुन रहे हो तो क्या होगा? तुम बताया गया है सर्प जब दूध में मुख लगा दे वो दूध पियोगे तो जहर हो गया, वो तुम्हारा अंतःकरण में जो भक्ति वास कर रहा है उसको नष्ट कर देगा।
Like if you go to Ram Mandali and the person giving the katha, afterwards he's taking the kava, that will damage your attachment to Ram.
गुरु महाराज कह रहे हैं तुम मंडली में गए और मंडली में जाकर कथा तो सुना, उसके बाद में तम्बाकू नोंगना पिया और वो तम्बाकू नोंगना पिया था और तुम वही संगे रहोगे, कुछ दिन बाद से तुम भी पिए लगोगे।
Satam prasangam abhavirya sambala bhavanti karna rasayana katha Tajoshana Shiva Varga Vargmani Shraddha Dhyavakti. So our whole process is hearing from the pure devotees of the Lord.
गुरु महाराज कह रहे कपिल भगवान अपनी माँ को बता रहे सतम प्रसन्नम माँ शुद्ध भक्तों के द्वारा तुम्हें कथा सुनी पड़ी तब तुम्हारे में रति भक्ति श्रद्धा, वरना एक को चीज नहीं, तुम तो कथा सुन नहीं रहे हो, कहाँ से श्रद्धा है कहाँ से रति, तुम्हें कथा श्रवण करना।
You actually translated more of that verse than I. So you already said it anyway. So the transcendental sound must go from the ear to the heart rather than from one ear out another ear.
गुरु महाराज के लिए जो कथा अभी गुरु महाराज ने दिया है वो श्रवण कान के द्वारा हृदयस्थ होना चाहिए। गुरु महाराज कह रहे मैं जो कथा दी हूँ इधर से अगर इधर उड़ गया तो लाभ नहीं होगा।
Okay, any other questions?
कोई के पास कोई प्रश्न है?
Now you translate. Can't stop him. All right, so
Question. How much sarvanam is beneficial to you?
how much?
Sarvanam, hearing.
Yeah, how much
How
is-
much hearing will be beneficial to you? Is that how much you practice?
how much time? Or?
How much hearing?
Oh, that's the greatest benefit. I mean, what's the question?
How much you're gonna benefit by hearing? So that's like
How much?
you're going to benefit from hearing.
Yeah, you benefit that you get everything.
गुरु महाराज कह रहे हैं जितना सुनोगे और जितना जीवन में उतारोगे उतने तुम्हारा सर्वनाम लाभ होगा।
Of course, when you hear, you have to do too. It's not if you're just hearing and repeating like a parrot and you don't do or follow what you're hearing, then it doesn't have too much benefit.
गुरु महाराज कह रहे हैं सुनने खाली सुन लिया और तोता कर कम खाली बक रहे हो और जीवन में उतारा नहीं तो उसका लाभ नहीं होगा।
Jnana vijnana. So there is knowledge and practical action and realization.
गुरु महाराज कह रहे थे ज्ञान के साथ में फिर विज्ञान, उसको अनुभव करना पड़ेगा जो तुमने सुना।
Okay. I think we should end now.
किसी के पास और कोई प्रश्न है आज की कथा पर? गुरु महाराज ने बड़े सुंदर से कथा की, चैतो जाता भी बताए माँ के बारे में, कैसे मालिका आ जाए, कैसे इसको धोना है।
Okay, all glory is to His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Gurudev ki jai. Guru Govinda। ठीक है, हरे कृष्णा। गुरु महाराज संगे सभी लोग प्रसाद लेंगे। गुरु महाराज अभी यहाँ प्रसाद लेंगे and we'll be having breakfast together with Srila Gurudev, and after the breakfast tonight afternoon 4 o'clock Guru Maharaj will be going to Yuga Dharma's place, and by 5 o'clock Guru Maharaj will be in Korpatu. He will be delivering a beautiful class on the anniversary of Taravali Mataji. So everybody can join, everybody to be there 5 o'clock in Korpatu.
Haribol.